right. Good afternoon, and thank you for coming. A few words about myself. I've had a long career. I like to say that in the 20th century, I was a software developer, and then in the 21st century, I was working in supply chain. And my experience has been using software to make the supply chain more efficient. So automation is something I'm thinking about all the time because it's a natural offshoot. The way I think about it is, some may not like it, but lights out manufacturing. So if you were given the task of, designing a lights out manufacturing organization, how will you go about it? And you'll take all the steps to automate each step of it, right? And then you'll get a plant which is completely automated. So today I will talk about the procure-to-pay automation. So it is a sub-process, right? Procure-to-pay is okay. First, let me say, okay, what is procure-to-pay, and then the agenda is what are the advantages, how do we do it, and how AI can help. So that's the agenda, and so talking about automation of the procure-to-pay is why this particular process and why not some other process. That is because I myself worked in this, and when I was working at VWR along with Sarang, this was one of the success stories that I wanted to share. So what is procure-to-pay, right? It starts from the need for a product, you create a PO, and then it ends when you actually pay the supplier for that product. And over time, we were able to automate every step of this, right? So, creating the POs, accepting the POAs, accepting ASNs, then of course the goods receipt, and then invoice, and then paying doing the three-way match, and then paying the supplier, right? All of this was done in an automated manner. That means, like then Kunal was saying, how do we get the low value added work out of the picture so that our people can do higher order tasks, right? So this is how do we get rid of the process, like things like entering purchase orders, entering purchase order acknowledgements, ASNs, and all of this into the system. And how do we make it completely automated? And that's what we did when we were at VWR. We had about 10,000 lines of PO every day going out to the suppliers because we were a distributor. We had about 1.3 million products, 8 warehouses, more than 40 satellite locations. So we had to plan for this and get the POs out. So that's why there were so many of them. And we were able to, over time, gradually make the whole process completely automated. Okay, so what are the advantages of this complete automation? As I said before, one is to have this mundane work of entering the POs and things like that eliminated. Right. The other thing also is how do we reduce errors, right? If we have people entering POs, there could be a whole bunch of errors, right? For example, you might get the unit of measure wrong. If that happens, then you might order an order of magnitude more or less of the product. Many of the product numbers, they differ by just one digit. So enter it wrong, there could be another issue. Other thing is like the buyer might think, okay, I got the signal today, I'll enter the PO tomorrow, forget about it. And then, or they might go on vacation, all of this. All of this leads to, added lead time. And as we all know, added lead time means increased inventory. And also, it also adds variability, right? So increased variability means increased safety stock, and therefore more inventory. So how do we eliminate all of this? Automation is a method to get rid of variability so that we have a smooth, predictable supply chain, right? Or as much smooth as predictable as possible. Now, the other thing is when we did this automation, we not only removed all of these tasks, but also had the system update the customer, things like that. For example, when we get a POA, right? So when you get the POA, it is not that it's simply entered into the system. It is also recalculating all the supplier delivery dates, and we were sharing that with the customer. Also, we were also implementing or calculating how many days the supplier was late, so that we could also automate the process of collecting data on the suppliers, so that we could scorecard them and then work with them to get their scores up. So it was automation of a P2P process, but it had impact on the customer as well as the supplier. And also, even the invoice processing was automated, so that we knew that we had like 45-day term for this supplier, 30-day payment terms, and then when we receive the invoice, it will calculate, okay, when do we need to pay, and then pay that automatically after the 3-way match, which was also done automatically. So this reduced our calls from the customer, right? Many times the customer they call us to say, okay, where's my stuff? So this reduced the customer calls, increased customer satisfaction. Because of this automated process also, we were able to even increase our customer service level, even though we were able to reduce the inventory. So it was like having your cake and eating it too kind of a thing. So that was one of the biggest advantages of complete automation, because variability was reduced, lead time was reduced inventory, but at the same time we knew what we had to do, and we were able to quickly cut the PO and get the product in as soon as it was possible. Now, how do we go about doing it? And in my mind, having done this, it's not very complicated. We need to have the master data right. And master data, the one thing everybody talks about master data, and master data is an ocean, right? But we don't have to boil the ocean for automating part of the process. So for example, for Procure-to-Pay, master data concerning vendors and the product, we need to be complete, but we don't have to have other parts of the master data complete. So we can start off slow. It is not like it's a huge undertaking. So if you divide the tasks, we can go slowly about it, and then get to automating this particular process, and then maybe we can then automate some other processes. Order to cash, for example. In master data, we need vendor information, because we need to create the POs automatically. We need to know who to send the POs to, what is their address. So this is at a layer below TraceLink. So we need to create the PO before we send it to, even whether we are using TraceLink or not, or point-to-point EDI. All of this, we needed to do that before that level. So we need to create the PO. For that, we need to know who the vendor is, where they are accepting POs. And then the product information, right? So we need to know how much we need to order. That comes from the demand, but also like there are minimum order quantities. What are the UOMs? Which vendor is supplying this product? There could be 2 vendors supplying the same product. So all of that information needs to be in the system for us to automate creating the POs automatically and sending it. And of course, we need the current inventory, right? Because we need to know when to order. The system should be able to generate that information. Okay, I need this product now. It can only do that if it has got current inventory information. And then also the MRP parameters. For example, is this product stocked, or is this is only ordered when there is a demand for it. Now, if the product is stocked, how much a safety stock should we have? What is the reorder point? All of those things need to be in the system for it to automatically generate the PO. So this is all the things that we got into the system before we were able to turn on the automation. And then, of course, the demand, right? The customer orders which come in and the forecasts which come in feed like when the product is needed, how much is needed. So all of this together, once we have all of that, then we have everything in place to automate it. Now, other things like, for example, MRP parameters, right? People have questions on, okay, how do I calculate it, and what do I need to do? So one of the things where AI can help is a data analysis. In fact, just last week, I was able to, create a spreadsheet wherein I had just the demand and the lead time, and I said, okay, give me the safety stock which I should have. This was ChatGPT free version, and I clicked on the reason button, and then what was able to do was it gave me a whole bunch of reason why it did what it did, and not only that, it also said you did not specify the service level you wanted. Safety stock is determined by your service level, and I'm assuming 95% service level, and therefore this is what the safety stock you should have. So AI can definitely help you with calculation of MRP parameters. It can also analyze it. Given the rules, it can also analyze a whole bunch of information on products and decide whether you want to stock it or not stock it. All those kinds of questions can also be helped by AI. And AI is rapidly becoming better and better. Like when I tried the same exact example about 6 months ago, I got nonsensical answers. In fact, even the math was not right. So now it's not only telling you what the answer is, but it also tells you like how it went about calculating the answer. And then it also told me that I did not give one input, and it assumed that input. And it assumed the right kind, because 95% service level is assumed normally in supply chain, and it knew all of that. So it was, I was like really impressed. And then programming, it always was mid-level in terms of programming, but now it is just so much better. And in some of the benchmarks, ChatGPT, they said it's among the top 100 programmers in the world. So, and then this is programming at such a high level, and it's language independent. So it doesn't need, whether ChatGPT knows SAS or C or whatever programming language. It's able to generate the programs, and very fast, pretty accurate. So things like, how do we accumulate data from different systems and get it together so that we can do some analysis. It can not only do that, it can suggest and do it by itself. So a lot of progress on programming also. So you can do data analysis, you can do programming. So it's so much more easier to automate the procure-to-pay process than what it was when we did it about 10 years ago. So huge improvements in these two. There could be other improvements which I have not particularly, myself have not worked with, but it is amazing what it can do. So, I would strongly suggest to make use of this to, reduce your work. And then communication, right? Like I read, 50% of supply chain professionals' job is spent on communication. And I myself, writing emails and things like that, when I used to work, I was always thinking, did I get the tone right? I used to stew on it for couple of hours before actually sending the email, even after writing it. So all of those kinds of things, communication it'll help you with communication so that you can do all the other tasks, which is, you normally want to get communications out of the way, and it can help you there also. So huge amount of things which can be done with AI, but even without AI you could do it. But now with AI there is even less reason not to automate. Now automation is near and dear to me, like I said, because as a software guy and then supply chain, I'm always thinking, how do we use computers to make things more efficient? And then supply chain, automation of individual processes, wherein we not only spend time but also create a lot of errors and increase variability. All of that can be easily taken care of. So, and with AI, it's even more easy. Any questions? Happy to answer it now. I'm available even after the meeting, so feel free.
Hello. Do you see any kind of risk when it comes to automation from a procurement standpoint, like in an industry, especially in a procurement function, when you're ordering high value items, there could be also errors involved. So what kind of control mechanisms or checks and balances you keep in such?
Right. So I'll tell you what we did as well as what is possible. So we had two streams of POs, right? One determined by the system itself, it used to calculate, and then the other one was on-demand ordering. So for the ones which were calculated by the system, the systems were tested, and we, after initial testing, we let the POs flow irrespective of the value. And then for the order on demand, it was, there were, first in the beginning, the thresholds were lower, like anything about $10,000 would need to be manually checked. And then we started raising that barrier to $50,000. So that's the last, when I worked at VWR 10 years ago, $50,000 and above. On-demand products would be checked. All the others would be, would flow automatically to the suppliers. Because there were 10,000 PO lines and things like that, it was, this was kind of, what is that, necessity is the mother of invention kind of a thing this was. So all of them flowed. Now, you can set your own threshold, right? You can start off with a low amount. You can benchmark and see how much, how many errors there are. And then slowly, as your confidence increases and also you find some errors and fix it, you can keep raising the threshold for manual intervention. And eventually, you'll find most of it completely automated.
Question in the front here. Thanks, and my apologies that I came a little bit late, so I may have missed something. Just one question I have that, you just explained this AI, which is very important. So just one question I have is that about, is that AI tool that you're using that is integrated with your ERP system, or it is an independent tool that can see the database and just answer your questions, or how does that work?
Yeah, see, the AI thing, which I talked about, is what I did in the last 1 week. Now, the thing is, definitely you can extract the data. It can write the programs to extract the data from SAP. It can do the analysis. And I have been playing with two of the tools. One is ChatGPT, of course, and the other one is in Google AI Labs. Yeah, AI Labs, they have in testing products, which anybody can test as long as you have a Google account. And one of them is analyst, data analyst, it's called. So if you click there, you can upload spreadsheets, ask questions. It will write the Python program to analyze and answer your questions. And it will show the Python program as well as the analysis. And you can ask subsequent follow-up questions, and it can answer that too.
Maybe just one last question to wrap it up. So went through this process.
where would you recommend people that are interested in pursuing this, they go back to their office, their day job, where would they start if they wanted to start to tackle this type of a project? What would be the first step that they would take?
First step, like I said, is master data.
Yeah.
So we need to have a strong master data foundation. And I also said, right, we do not want to like scare people off because master data is an ocean. Only the things that we need to automate first, focus on that, and then step by step we can, as we identify other processes to automate, we can fill in the blanks in the master data.
Great.
So master data is the start. Without that, automation is, not possible.
Great. No surprise there, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Round of applause for Arun, please.